What can I do for you?
Kristen Nicole here with Mashable, and I am here at Yahoo Brick House with Tom, with Fire Eagle. And he's going to tell us a little bit about how Fire Eagle integrates with social media, and I think it's actually really interesting how the privacy settings allow you to determine who is basically promoting your actual location, and you can even sort of deceive people with that. So how cool is that?
You asking me a question?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, Fire Eagle, I don't know how much people know about Fire Eagle. Fire Eagle is just a service that helps people take their location to the web and use it so that they can capture their own location and make the whole web respond to it as much as they like. And that means that if you want to, you can share it with social networks. There's one called Scout out already, which means that you can see where all your friends are on the map and hang out with them if you want to. I think one of the most important things for us is the ways in which people can use their location in a social context. So, it's very important that people can lie, if they want to, and actually say, actually, I'm not at that place, I'm down the road. If they don't want to be rude, polite software that actually looks after you and makes sure that you have all the opportunities to do all the normal human social things. So you can also hide yourself with Fire Eagle. You can be capturing your location, then go, no, I don't want to share that anymore, and then reappear, all that kind of stuff. And the other thing we do is we make sure it's very easy for sites that use Fire Eagle to build their own stuff on top. So we provide them with a hierarchy of locations. So you could share your location, for example, with Facebook or whatever, and say, I want these friends to be able to see my exact location and these friends to be able to see my city. We don't do that. We don't look after the friend stuff, but because we provide them with both all that information, a third-party application can do all that kind of stuff very easily.
So for a user that has a bunch of different social media accounts and half of these are tied into Fire Eagle, is there a centralized location where they can go and sort of manage their location across a number of...
Yeah, so that's what Fire Eagle really is. They can go to the Fire Eagle website and they can update their location there and it'll appear on all of their sites, or they can choose an application they like to update their location on their behalf. So they can have a mobile phone in their pocket that sends up the location to Fire Eagle and then say, my friends on Facebook can see my neighborhood, people who come to my blog can see my city. And they can do and manage all that stuff through Fire Eagle itself. Come in, they can see, actually I've changed my mind, my Facebook friends can see my exact location or, nothing at all, and they can do that all in the central Fire Eagle application place.
So privacy is obviously a very important issue with you guys and what you guys are doing.
Absolutely.
And it sounds like there's a lot of options for a user to control just about every aspect of their location awareness. And so in terms of the monetization options that you guys are going to roll in the future, I know you touched on that during your presentation, but could you give us a little bit more detail on...
Well, I probably can't talk about our actual plans and all that kind of stuff in detail, but certainly there are a whole range of ways in which Fire Eagle is good for Yahoo. One of the first ones is just that we think that by making the geo ecosystem larger, then and getting more people using it, then that's good for everyone. We can build applications that respond to your location as well. And that's really good. It means that our services are better, our users are happier, and that generally, ends up in smiley faces all down the line. We think there's potentially sort of business applications you could do behind the scenes. The platform is open, so anyone can build upon it. That's really important and a big deal for us because again, it's about making the ecosystem as large as possible. But certainly we could offer premium services to partners if they wanted particular bits of functionality or things that were expensive for us to implement, so that it wasn't, just us giving it away for free if it cost us a lot of money. The other side of it is that obviously, Yahoo does have, makes a lot of its money through advertising, and although none of your information in Fire Eagle is shared with, the advertising throughout the industry, throughout their business by default. If you went to a site, we could certainly make it possible for, say, Pounce to have, at some point in the future, we certainly build something that would mean Pounce could put geo-sensitive advertising. And they wouldn't even necessarily need to use Fire Eagle. It's just like, if the ecosystem is there, if you've built an environment so that people can share and use their location, then a whole range of new possibilities emerge, business possibilities as well as product ones.
And you have several hundred apps that have been created from the developer community so far already, right?
We have several hundred apps keys that have been issued.
Okay.
We've seen about 50 apps live in public, and that's with a very limited amount of people using the service, because we've had it on invitation only. We've only had a few thousand people actively on the site, so we're expecting to see over the next few months sort of a large number more apps being produced and put out public.
And so far, are you seeing a lot of that being developed in the mobile space, or mobile to web, or a lot of web? Really
everywhere. We've seen desktop applications, really from little tiny ones to kind of more interesting ones. We've seen mobile updaters, apps that sit on phones. We've seen things for the iPhone, things for Nokia phones. We've seen websites that kind of react to stuff. Really, literally everywhere. We've got a Chumby over there that shows the location of everyone in the office. It's a nice bit of hardware that sits in the office. Doppler broadcasts locations to Fire Eagle if you ask it to. All kinds of stuff, really. I mean, it's not really limited to one environment.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
No problem at all. I hope that didn't sound too stupid.
Not at all.